Welcome to episode lucky 13 of Chip Off the Old Black. Episode 13.
Chip off the old black. Episode 13-0. Killer out from 13-0.
13-0. And we are not going to be superstitious. It's episode 13, right?
It's episode 13-0.
It's episode 13-0.
About 13-0.
That's pretty exciting. I say that 13. That's not very many. I was watching Gabe and Teddy earlier today, Cameron, and Gabe said, and that marks the end of episode, I think he said 642. It's like,
well, they've been at it for years.
Well, they have, and they post, like a lot of these people do. They post a couple of times a week, and
they have fans and sponsors.
They have sponsors, fans, merch. They've got it all. But they've been at it a long time. We have.
Yeah.
We're just little baby infant YouTubers. We're still learning, right?
That's right. We're getting it.
Speaking of learning, let's learn what the scent is tonight.
It's smoky vanilla.
Smoky vanilla.
Makes my basement smell mossy.
Or vanilla-y, one or the other.
Yeah, or vanilla-y. Smoky.
Okay. And you've also got a cup of coffee right there.
I do.
Right?
We're gonna get to my coffee in a minute because there's something different about my coffee.
There's something new about the coffee. Okay, we're going to get to that right now. How's your week gone? I know you hosted somebody for part of the last few days. How's it going?
I did host somebody. I hosted a very, very special guest. I hosted my wonderful mother who came here. She got here on Friday and she stayed here until Tuesday afternoon or so. And she was here to visit me and my kids. And let me just say that everyone had a wonderful, wonderful time. And I'm not just saying that because my house was the cleanest it's been since Christmas. And I ate meat that come out of a can. And I ate home cooked meals. I'm not just saying it for that, although those are some huge perks. Really had an awesome time with Mom. It was wonderful to see Mom. Wonderful to have Mom in the house and have Mom around the kids. The kids had a fantastic time with Mom. So that was great. Thank you so much for coming, Ma. I love you so much. You're always welcome in my house. As kind of a side effect of Mom coming, and I want to emphasize, she wanted me to emphasize that she did not talk me into this purchase. I asked her questions and she gave me answers. But I got kind of bougie. I don't even know if Dad knows what bougie means. The viewers
I don't. I don't.
Kind of
I'll have to look that one up.
I got kind of. It means I got kind of fancy and maybe a little snobby, a little highfalutin.
Little highfalutin.
A little highfalutin. I got kind of bougie, and I bought me a milk frother.
A milk frother.
And not a very expensive one. They had one, Dad, that was $130.
Wow.
I'm like, what are you doing with the milk that I have to pay $130?
Does that come with a guy that frosts it and pours your coffee and all that stuff for you?
It comes with like some French guy that frosts your milk for you. Milk frothing costs money.
Milk frothing costs money.
So I did not get that. I got the $25 one. And I got to tell you, I've been frothing milk. I've frothed coffee cream. I've frothed water. I've been frothing everything.
You're frothing every frothing thing around the house.
I'm frothing every frothing thing in this frothing house is getting frothed. And there is this is my frothing coffee, and there is frothed milk in my coffee now, and it's delicious.
Yeah, we ran into some people at a restaurant one evening when we were on a camping trip, and they said, "So you're camping like in a tent?" And we're like, "No, we're the opposite of a tent. We have an espresso and a milk frother in our camping."
Do a milk frother.
Yeah, we have a milk frother.
We take on our.
She takes that camping. Well, so you're telling me
takes it on your frothing camping trips.
So you went several days without eating dinner out of the pot that you prepared it in with the spoon that you stirred it with.
I know. I had a rough go of it. It was it was rough sledding there for a bit, eating mom's homemade cooking and not eating meat out of a can where you got to scrape the meat jelly off,
That's great.
uh, and it makes that suction noise, that noise
You,
when it comes out the can.
do you remember
Uh,
last time I was there and you said I want to record this for mom and you turned your phone video on just to get the audio. You shook that can
yeah,
and that slurp came. She was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so gross."
and then it thudded down on the cutting board. But
It thudded down on the cutting board.
well,
You know, you got to get a couple of paper towels and wipe all the goo off of it and then chop it
it
up.
was kind of nice eating home cooked meals and not meat that comes out of a can and
Yeah,
not just eating macaroni and cheese out of the pot with the spoon I made it with.
yeah.
Uh,
Well,
it was nice, but
She's
still,
gone now, and you're back to the crap that you usually cook for yourself, I guess.
yeah, pretty much. I'm gonna be looking for the canned meat after this episode.
Well, she had a great time there. It's a short trip for her. She left your place Tuesday afternoon, and now she's with her bestie in 107 degrees in Lubbock, Texas. So,
Well,
for
not
somebody that
much
lives
short
in
of that.
Alaska, that 107, that can be fatal. I just hope she is staying out of it and staying in the air conditioning. But
Well, it's not
That's not her bestie's way she does stuff is just stay in the house and stay in air conditioning. She's probably
it's
hollering her.
not too much less than that right now. Today it's 92 here.
Oh, well, that's 15 degrees less than that. Right now
Yeah.
it's warm here. It's 65. So,
Anyway, enough about my canned meat and meat jelly and milk frother. How was your week?
you know, it's been pretty good. If I appear like I have a little more life in me tonight, it's because I do. I haven't been quite as busy real estate photography wise. It's just one of the weird phenomenons here. You know, summer is the real estate season, and I've been really busy. And then the salmon came in dead. When the fish come in, everybody quits what they're doing. You'll see stores with the doors locked that say gone fishing on them, literally. The whole state runs down to the Kenai Peninsula and starts salmon fishing. And it just gets slow for 2 or 3 weeks this time of the year, every year. But, you know, the nice thing about that, it's given me some time to get caught up. And my bestie up here in Alaska, Matt, asked me to play in a golf tournament this past Saturday. When I was a young whippersnapper in college, I was probably a five handicap. I was a good player. Uh, Not anymore.
I'm very handicapped.
In college, I did that a lot. I played a lot of golf, and you know those people that are just kind of naturally God gifted athletes, Cameron.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was still thinking about that term. I don't like that term handicapped. I'm very handicapped.
Okay, you are very handicapped. Yes, I carried a five handicap. That's a golf term. But you know, when you hear about those people that are naturally athletically gifted, I'm not one of those people. I was a good golfer, but to do that, I had to work at it, uh, play consistently, practice consistently.
Well, as you and I discussed in the last episode, you don't need to be a gifted athlete to play golf.
That's right. You don't have to be a gifted athlete, but to be good at it, I had to practice and play consistently. And when I got out of school, had children, got a job, the time to be able to play dried up, and so did the money to play. It used to
So,
be playing was
and
cheap. It's not cheap anymore.
so in essence, I ruined your golf game. Me and Sis
No,
ruined your golf.
no, it was a combination of factors, really. Uh, your sister, uh, work, jobs, things like that. But anyway, my point being, probably finally about 5 years ago, every time I'd go out and play, I just sucked so bad. I just didn't play very regularly. And you know, those people you hear guys, if you golf any, you hear a lot of guys say, I just love the enjoyment of the game, just the enjoyment of getting out. I'm not that way. If I can't do it well, I don't enjoy doing it. So, I put my clubs in the crawl space probably 5 years ago, crawl space in our home. And Matt had called and asked me to play on a lot of occasions. And I'd just say, nah, I don't think so. Nah, I'd come up with some excuse or I'd have an excuse. But this time, for some reason, he calls and says, hey, your spot is paid. We're playing in this tournament. I want you to play on my team. And I said, okay, okay, I'll give it a try. And then, of course, the next day he says, hey, we're playing the night before. Do you want to come play Friday night? So I went out Friday evening, had an auspicious beginning. First, I wore myself out in the driving range trying to learn how to play again. And then I go out, and the first two shots I hit, I'd hit two shots and lost one golf ball. It got a little better after that. And then we played in the tournament, had a great time. Uh, Still not great, but it was a scramble. Anybody that's familiar with golf knows it's a scramble. You don't always have to play your lousy shots. You get to play somebody else's better shot. So it's
Hey,
a little bit.
totally,
Yeah,
totally ungolf related question, but inquiring minds want to know. I heard Matt wore a kilt.
he did. He did. I felt that was for the tournament. Uh, he wore a kilt, and the guy that I rode with in my cart, because Matt rode with his wife, Jennifer, in his cart. The guy I rode with had a kilt on, and Jennifer had a skirt on. I was the only member of the foursome that didn't have a dress on. So I felt a little bit underdressed. So anyway, back to what I was saying. We played in the tournament. We had a great time. And Matt and Jen, after lunch for the tournament, Matt and Jen decided to go play another 18. He invited me, and I knew I just didn't have enough gas in the tank to go do that. So I graciously said I probably better not, and I had a little work to do when I got home. So they go off to play another 18, and I just decided, part of it was I got a little bit of the fever to play again, and part of it was I thought I have got to figure out why I can't hit the golf ball. So I went down to the driving range and bought a small bucket of balls. And I'm walking to go hit, and I run into one of my photography clients. Really, really nice guy. And he is playing with two other guys. And I go up and shake his hand, say, "Hey, Larry, how you doing?" And Larry points to me, and he turns to these two friends of his, and he said, "This guy doesn't even play golf, but he has one of the most beautiful golf swings I have ever seen." And then he turns to me and he says, "Are you going to go hit some balls?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Do you mind if I come down there and watch?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is going to be so embarrassing." So he walked down the driving range with me. He's older than me, believe it or not. He's like almost 80. And he walked down there, and I thought this is going to be just so humiliating. And, I don't know. Maybe I needed a gallery. Maybe I needed somebody to watch because all of a sudden, as your mother would say, my muscle memory kicked in and I was hitting the ball great. And he was like, "Yep, that's what I remember. That's what I remember." So,
Well,
anyway,
that's a
did that over the
that's
weekend and also have had some time this week. We talked a little bit about the Denali camping video last week. I didn't have time to get it up on my channel last week, but I do have it up on my channel, along with the most recent camping trip that your mother and we didn't go this past weekend, as you know, because she was at your house, but we went the prior weekend down to a place by Seward, Alaska. And I have that video up as well on my Todd Black Photography YouTube channel. And I'll put a link to those below. The Denali video is great. I managed to use a little time lapse to kind of turn a 3 or 4 day trip into 15 to 30 minutes. So the Denali video is great, has some great, believe it or not, and I told you this, believe it or not, has some great porcupine footage in it. And when we were camping down by Seward, we went down a place called Ski Lake Road and had a wonderful bear sighting. And that video has some of that bear video in it, as well as some of the stills. So yeah, it
awesome.
had a great week, and that is a lot longer than we usually go on. Hey, what's been going on this week? Because usually when we
Well,
ask each other what's been going on this week, really nothing out of the ordinary has been going on. But this week was a little different, particularly with your mother coming and visiting you. That was awesome.
well, I was gonna say that's a high compliment that guy paid you. That'd be kind of like me walking up and down the halls of my work and some blind guy goes, "You have the most beautiful cane sweep I ever heard."
The most beautiful cane sweep I've ever not seen. Can I follow you and learn how to do it? Yeah, it was just it was a weird deal. And of course, the worst thing about it is it got me back wanting to play. And so I actually went out again, didn't have any work, I think Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember. Monday, I think it was Monday. So I went out to the driving range here in Palmer and hit a few balls. So uh, anyway, both of our weeks were not what they ordinarily are. So that segment ran a little bit long, but that's okay. That moves us right into the Daggumit Blowout segment.
Well, I do
Okay.
not have a what?
I said, okay, go ahead.
I do not have a dadgummit blowout per se. Uh, as I said last week, the Royals have still been losing. They have just not been losing in notable fashion. But I will say this: our viewers are probably aware the NBA playoffs have just concluded. They concluded Saturday night, and yeah, it was Saturday night. The New York Knicks, my adopted New York Knicks, are now NBA champions. They won their first championship in 53 years. And what I do think is notable is in every single one of their victories, they were behind, and not by a little bit. They were behind substantially, and they were behind the most in game four. They overcame a 29-point deficit. So that game should have been a daggum blowout for the Spurs, and it was not. The Knicks overcame a 29-point deficit to come back and win that game, and then won the whole thing in game five.
Well, that is amazing. And I'd heard that NBA Finals record come back from 29 points. I mean, if you're the Spurs, that's embarrassing. They had, I think in the final game they had a 16-point lead over the Knicks
They
and
did.
managed.
They did. In game five, the Knicks were down by 16 points and still won. The final score of that game, for anyone who wants to know, was 94-90 Knicks.
I think that, and I'm not sure. I obviously don't follow it that close, but I think that Brunson guy, the guy I kept when you did the play-by-play for the playoffs a couple of years ago, you mentioned his name a lot. I'm not sure he wasn't the MVP. I don't know.
Oh, he was.
He
He
was the
was.
MVP.
He
Yeah,
pretty much carried the team.
I just heard that he had a great series, so I assumed he was probably the MVP.
Oh, he did. Multiple nights. He scored 36 points, 40 points. He carried the team.
Okay. Okay. One quick note about the Daggumit Blowout segment. We're in current negotiations, Cameron, with one of our viewers to add a special touch to the Daggumit Blowout segment. We haven't come to terms yet. I think he said something to the effect of, did somebody mention a check?
Yeah, I was gonna say we have not come to terms because his agent has told us that he wants too much, and by he wants too much means that he's expecting to get paid anything,
Yes.
and we're hoping he would do it for free.
Yeah, he'll do it for free. He'll do it when he gets around to it, and it'll be worth the wait. It'll be worth the wait. I'm telling everybody. Okay, Cambo, moving on. Do you want to do the Cyclops story now, or do you want to do the no games just sports segment?
Uh, doesn't matter. We can go ahead and do the Cyclops story. I've got one.
Okay, go ahead and tell yours.
So I was thinking, I thought of this Cyclops story because this weekend I was cooking for my mother Saturday evening, and I was a little nervous. I've never cooked for mom before. I've grilled burgers on the old George Foreman for her, but that's not quite the same thing. I cooked a casserole for her Saturday night, and she really liked it, or she told me she liked it, and she's such a wonderful mother. She would never tell me otherwise.
No, she said it was good.
Um,
She said it was good.
Good. I'm glad. But anyway, it reminded me of this Cyclops story that occurred not long ago. I am very particular as most blind people are, about where things are located in my house, especially my kitchen, my fridge, and my pantry. There is a method to my madness. I know it looks like a mess to my family, but I know where everything is. Um, so my sister was in town and I was cooking dinner for her. This was back in January. My sister stayed with me for a couple of weeks, and I was cooking dinner for her one night. Her and my kids. I was making taco casserole, which is one of my favorites. It's fun to make and it's delicious. And one of the first steps of making taco casserole is to spray cooking spray or Pam on the inside of a baking pan pretty thoroughly. So I did that. I sprayed it and I take a paper towel and I'm wiping it so that I get all the little corners and crevices. Uh, and it occurred to me, I'm like, man, this stuff smells weird. And I know what Pam or cooking spray smells like, and this smells funny. And I don't think this stuff can go bad. I don't think cooking spray goes bad, as far as I know. So sis walked in the kitchen and I said, Sis, this smells funny to me. And she looks at the can and she goes, Well, it probably does smell funny. It's Scotch Guard.
So, so does that mean you do that to your pants so they won't get stained? Is that why you do it?
Yeah, I put Scotch Guard on my pants so that, to protect my leather pants.
I
So
don't
yeah,
know how it's possible, but I have not heard this story.
I don't know how Scotch Guard ended up in my pantry. I know that I didn't put it in there. I know that for a fact.
I think
And
very
I
few
know why I
recipes.
have it.
I think very few recipes, Cameron, call for Scotch Guard. Actually,
I don't have a lot of recipes that call for Scotch Guard.
well, I don't
Um,
think there's a lot of them out there. I mean, we could Google or talk to Claude and see if he knows of any. But
I
yeah,
I know why I have it. I bought it because I'm sitting in a leather recliner and I have a nice suede leather jacket that my sister bought me a year or two ago. So I knew I had Scotch Guard, but there is no way I put that in my pantry. I wouldn't do that. I don't know who did it, but it wasn't me. So anyway, I I thoroughly rinsed out that pan, but even that still was not good enough for me. I just put the whole thing in the dishwasher and got a brand new pan and started over again with Pam this time.
well, fortunately, you didn't get quite as carried away. A couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks ago, when your mother and I were camping, she got under the sink to get a pot out of the RV in the camper, and just a little bit. When you winterize a camper, you put antifreeze in the system. Just a little bit. I mean, just a little bit of antifreeze had leaked somehow from the sink and dripped down in one of the bowls. She not only didn't just dishwash it, it was nested in some other bowls or pots or whatever. She threw them all, she just threw them all away. So we had to run into town and buy a little camping pot. Uh, but yeah, she would have thrown the old Scotch guarded pan away. But yeah, I haven't heard
I
that
did not
story.
I did not throw it away. I thoroughly washed it by hand, and then I stuck it in the dishwasher and dishwashed it, and then I didn't use it. While Mom was here this weekend, I made the tater tot casserole in it, and that was the first time I used it since I Scotch guarded it in January.
Well, you know one thing, it won't get any stains on it. Okay, moving
Well,
on to my
well,
Cyclops story, which as usual will probably be a lot shorter. Uh, Cameron Cameron gives us a call one evening. He's evidently on his way home in Share I pick up the phone. Of course, his mother's sitting on the sofa next to me. I pick up the phone and it's a video call, and I can barely see Cameron because it's pitch black out. It's night there in Kansas City. And he's kind of panicked. And I'm like, what happened? And he said, my share fare, and it's amazing this hasn't happened more than once, but his share fare driver dropped him off, fortunately in the correct neighborhood, but dropped him off on the wrong street in front of the wrong house. Usually those drivers, as Cameron will attest to, take him to the door. This one didn't, just dumped him out and left. Well, as you can imagine, for Cameron, he was a little I don't even, how do I get home? I don't even know where I'm at. So I had him, he had me on a video call, like I said. So I had him move the move the phone around so I could try to get my bearings. Keep in mind, I don't live in that neighborhood uh, either, so I'm not that familiar with it. He moves it around. It's so dark I could hardly see anything. And he moves it. I said, "Wait a minute." He said, "What?" And I said, I think I see a guy. I think he was going to get his mail or something, but he was out in the yard." And I told Cameron, turn a little bit right, go straight, turn a little bit left. And I guided him to the guy. And I said, just ask the guy if he can help you, if he can tell you where you're at and how to get to your place. And if I'm not mistaken, and we got off the phone at that time so you could talk to the man, but if I'm not mistaken, not only did the guy tell you he would help you, but he walked with you and took you there, didn't he?
He did. This is not the story I thought you were going to tell. Apparently, I have been stranded more than once, um, because I do remember the story.
Yeah.
But I recall another story where I also got dropped off on the wrong street, and I did not call you guys, and I forget why I didn't, and I hitchhiked. I literally stuck out my thumb,
Oh, brother.
and
Yeah,
a
don't tell.
man.
It's too late, but don't tell that story. Your mother watches this show. She'll have a fit. That was the worst. I think the worst thing about it was when you called us, your mother sitting there. I mean, she was ready to call Sheriff, get an attorney involved, put out a contract on somebody. I mean, she was pissed.
And same thing happened. I got dropped off on the wrong street. Guy just, as soon as I was out of the car, guy just pulled off. Didn't wait to see if I got in the door or nothing. Just pulled off, and I wandered around for quite a while. And then I finally stuck out my thumb. And the thing is, some cars just drove right by me, and I'm like, really? The blind guy in the middle of the street at 9 p.m. in the winter, you drive right by me? Really?
They're probably like,
Um,
I'm not falling for that old
I'm
gag.
not falling for that. Finally, a guy on a motorcycle. Uh,
Oh, so this gets worse? You hitchhiked on a motorcycle.
no, 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 no. A guy on a motorcycle stopped his bike and said, "Hey, are you all right?" And I explained to him my situation, and he goes, "Oh," he said, "Let me help you." He said, "Let me go park the bike, and I'll take you home." And he did. He went around and he parked his bike and he got off his bike and he walked back over to me and he took me all the way home. He was the nicest guy.
That's cool. There are some good that's nice confirmation that there are some good people out there. That's for sure. Okay, moving on to no games, just sports. For those that haven't watched uh, our last couple of episodes where we talked about this, I have very specific ideas of what should be mapped for something to be considered a sport and not a game. Uh, this is my opinion. You are more than welcome to chime in the comments below with your opinion. So far, Cameron, I think we've talked about baseball. And really, I need to throw this caveat out there. Whether I like it or dislike it has nothing to do with it. Does it meet the criteria to qualify as a sport? In my opinion, baseball does not. Baseball is a game, not a sport. Cameron conceded that based on my criteria, baseball did not qualify as a sport. I still believe that he thinks it is, as most people think it is. I
I do.
understand
I concede it, but I still disagree if that's possible.
that. Okay. After baseball, just to show that I wasn't just picking on him, golf. Uh, use the same criteria. Golf doesn't even come close to being a sport. I like it. I play it. Uh, I know that's going to hack a lot of people off, but it's not a sport. It's a game based on those criteria. Now, that's the foundation of this segment of the show. We have a viewer, more specifically, a relative of a viewer, and kudos to him. I've never won a national championship in college in anything. if I would have, it would have been in cutting class. This guy won a national championship in college in curling. So we got a comment from his father or mother. I think no, his father. Uh, hey, he won a
Did the
national
comments say
championship. Talk
Isaac is the
about
champion?
curling. Is it a sport or is it a game? Cameron, do you quit? Okay, quit laugh. You're not. Don't laugh yet, Cameron. Let's just let's just talk about the criteria. And I wish I had them in front of me. Number one, if you can play it more than one time a day, not a sport. If you can golf, that's one reason it doesn't qualify as a sport. You can play it 2 or 3 times a day. And the story I just told a few minutes ago about my friend, they played twice that day. Not a sport. I like it, not a sport. Do you remember the second criteria, Cameron?
You have to be in some type of physical, you have to be physically fit, at least sort of.
Yes, you have to have some semblance of physical fitness. You have to have some athletic ability. You have to have specialized skill. That's another. You have to be very skilled. That's another one of the criteria. Uh,
There has
there
to
has
be,
to
and the
be a
fourth is that
chance.
there has
Yeah, go
reasonable
ahead.
threat of injury.
Has to be at least a small threat of serious injury. Okay. Were there any others, or does that pretty much cover them? I
I
thought there was
mean,
another
there
one.
are some silly ones like you can't be hammered drunk, and if
Yeah,
you can eat nachos and drink a beer while you're doing it, it's not a sport.
that's
But
right.
those
If
four, those
if
four are the serious criteria.
if you can do it while you're hammered drunk, not a sport. If you can do it successfully. Okay. So when we apply those criteria to curling, number one, you can't do it more than once a day. Okay. That's a dead fail. I'm not, and I will say, I haven't ever curled. I haven't ever curled. I've done curls, believe it or not, but I haven't ever curled. Uh, but from what I see, there should be no reason you couldn't have you couldn't play in 10 or 12 curling matches a day. Uh, so it fails number one. Okay. Number two, you have to be athletic or have some semblance of physical fitness. Again, I have never curled. Am I saying that there's not anybody that curls that is not an athlete? Not at all. I think that there are probably some very athletic people that curl. Do you have to be? There are also very athletic people that bowl, but you clearly don't have to be.
Yeah,
So
we'll get to bowling, and that one won't take long.
that one won't take long. Frankly, this one's taken longer than it should, but I want to give full credit because again, I've never won a national championship at anything. So kudos to him. I was a really good pool player in college, but I didn't win a national championship playing pool. Uh, so, Cameron, carry on. Is there any significant chance of serious injury in curling, Cameron?
Uh, and unless they trip and fall, I don't know what it would be.
Yeah, if they slipped and fell and knocked their back out or something, but yeah, and then in the normal progression, yeah, no. I don't know. I guess they can get blisters. The guy that uses the broom, I guess he can get blisters on his
Yeah.
hand. He probably wears gloves.
So kudos to our viewers relative for being the champion. Uh, Curling is not a sport.
Curling, not a sport.
It's not a sport.
It's a game, not a sport. Okay. And again, if you disagree, feel free. And I'm sure that guy will leave a comment, and I would fully expect him to. Feel free to leave any
Absolutely.
comments below. What's that?
I said absolutely. We probably just pissed him and his whole family off, and we we don't have much of a viewer base to be pissing people off.
No, no, we shouldn't. No, we shouldn't. Uh, we shouldn't do that, but okay. Anyway, we got to be honest. That's our honest opinion on is curling a sport or a game. Okay, moving on. Last week we talked a lot about sports movies. We threw out a movie quote challenge, and we're going to get into that in a minute. I was telling Cameron we kind of have a little. I call it a pregame. We kind of have a little pregame discussion right here on Zoom before we, start recording the meeting about what we're going to talk about. And uh, as is clear, if you've been watching this show, those meetings don't go very. We don't get into great detail about what we're going to talk about. But one of the things I was telling him earlier, uh, I think in an effort to pander, uh, which is fine because I'm a pander bear.
We're a panda bear.
We're pander bears. In an effort to pander, y'all talk too much about sports on your sports show. Your show is too long. Your show is too short. We get kind of hung up in that stuff, and we've had a lot of engagement in the last 2 or 3 weeks in our videos, and we have just not addressed it like we should because we're trying to introduce new segments or talk about new things. We're going to try to change that tonight. Uh, I've got several comments, and if you see me looking down, I made notes because there's a lot of things that we wanted to cover tonight. Some comments we've had in the last couple of weeks, and I want to acknowledge them, and we're going to talk about them, Cameron. You're going to love this first one. Sherry
Okay.
Howell 69, when we were talking about sports movies, stated that one of her favorites is 42. Now, I know that's one of your favorites, isn't it?
42 is a great movie. I don't care if you like baseball, if you don't like baseball. 42 with the late great Chadwick Boseman and Harrison Ford. The story of Jackie Robinson is a great movie.
Yeah, we watched it with you, I don't know, a couple of years ago at your house, and I liked it okay. I didn't dislike it. I particularly didn't dislike it just because it was about baseball. I didn't dislike it. I liked it okay. There's others I like better, but I can see why anybody would be drawn to it. Really a good movie and a good shout out from Sherry. She also mentioned she loves A League of Their Own, and anybody that's seen A League of Their Own, have you ever come across anybody, Cameron, that said, I saw that movie and it really stunk?
I have not. If anyone's seen it, they like it. We actually talked about that last week because it has that great line, if I had your job, I'd kill myself.
Well, yes, and it has probably the most notable line in all of sports movies. There's no crying in baseball, which
There's
I
no
shared with.
crying and are you crying?
Are you
There's
crying?
no
There's no
crying in
crying. There's no
baseball.
crying in baseball. And I shared with Sherry. Uh, I replied to her comment and said, I don't know if you know this little piece of trivia, but that was all ad libbed by Tom Hanks. None of that was in the script. So that's interesting that maybe one of the most notable lines in any sports movie ever was ad lib by Tom Hanks. Other
I knew
comments.
that. I'm not surprised.
What's that?
Nothing. I just said I don't think I knew that, but I'm not surprised. Tom Hanks is brilliant.
Yeah. Okay. Angel Black 6797. She said most sports movies get you wrapped up in them because the main character is an underdog. That's right. Triumph of the human spirit. Uh, she cited a couple of 2 or 3 of her favorites. Eddie the Eagle. If you haven't seen Eddie the Eagle, watch it. We were telling Cameron, I don't know, a week ago or so, hey, have you seen Eddie the Eagle? Yeah. He said, yeah, I've seen it twice with you. So yeah, we like it. It's great. Of course, for Cameron's mother, it doesn't hurt that Hugh Jackman's in it. That
It don't hurt
automatically
nothing.
bumps any movie up 2 or 3 notches for her. Uh, Eddie the Eagle, Legend of Bagger Vance is kind of uh, I don't know, it's kind of an outside the norm for sports movies, but it's also excellent. Has a lot of good emotion in it, a good story. And Secretariat. She mentioned Secretariat. More triumph of the horse spirit, I guess. But as I stated in an earlier episode, it's really kind of just as much about the owner as it is the horse. Cameron, I guess you haven't seen Secretariat, right?
I've not seen Secretariat. No, I should give it a watch.
By the way, for people that, well, why do you refer to Cameron seeing a movie? He obviously can't see the movie. Uh, he does an amazingly great job at enjoying movies. He catches things that most people wouldn't catch because he listens when most people are watching. But one of the things that's a great help for you, isn't it, buddy, is if they've got audio description.
Audio description is tremendous. That really has only come to pass in the last 10 or 12 years or so, but now it's quite prevalent. It's on most movies and TV shows, and it really, really, really has changed my experience in watching movies and watching TV.
And sometimes it's not just informative, sometimes it's extremely entertaining, right?
Sometimes the audio description is funnier than whatever's going on in the movie.
Butthole licks crack. That's one of my favorite. I don't know how many times we rewound that. And if anybody can guess what movie that's from,
Yeah.
you
Please
get a big
comment if
shout
you
out.
know. Please comment. You will get a huge shout out. We might even send you some chip off the old black merch once we get any.
Yeah.
Please comment if you know what movie would have the audio description "Butthole licks crack" and "Butthole swings from the chandelier."
Yes, absolutely. Okay. One of our other viewers, Big Al, talked about Days of Thunder. He's a big, big NASCAR guy, so he loved Days of Thunder. I'm a Tom Cruise. I like Tom Cruise about anything that I like probably about 90% of what Tom Cruise has ever done. That one for me is in the 10%. But that doesn't mean it's not great. Big Al liked it. I responded to that comment by saying, if you want a serious NASCAR movie, how about Talladega Nights, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby? Cameron, I don't think he considers that a serious NASCAR movie.
He should. I think that movie should be a documentary.
Yeah. Uh, his wife responded, I never could talk myself into watching that one, but I know you two quote it frequently. And then she mentioned some of their favorites. Hoosiers, For the Love of the Game, Any Given Sunday, and Draft Day. Uh, all great, all great sports movies. I have seen Hoosiers. Uh, Again, I didn't care for it, but I'm in the vast minority. People love it. I've only seen it once. For the Love of the Game, I've seen that two or three times. If it's got Kevin Costner in it, your mother wants to watch it. Any Given Sunday, that one I can't remember at all. Do you remember that one?
I do. I honestly didn't care for it. It's okay. Jamie Foxx, um, Al Pacino, James Woods, Cameron Diaz. It's an NFL movie.
Okay. Okay. And Draft Day, you and I both love Draft Day. So does your mother.
I do love it. Draft
Of
Day is
course, it
great.
makes sense. It has Kevin Costner in it, but
But yeah, Kevin Costner's in it.
Kevin Costner's in it, but Draft Day is really a good one. Okay, the movie quote challenge. We threw out some sports movie quotes last week's episode and said we give a shout out to the first people that guessed it. Now, when I look at the comments, I can't tell for sure who was first, but both of these two came in at about the same time. Angel Black 6797 got 3 of 6 or 8. I thought we did 6. You said we did 8.
I was I math is not my strong suit. Um, I miscounted your. I thought you did four, and you didn't. You actually only did three, and then I did a fourth because I thought you did four.
Okay, so actually, she got 3 of 7. This is what she got. Movie Bull Durham, character Crash Davis, Kevin Costner, of course. Waterboy, character was the Waterboy, Bobby Boucher. And Dodgeball, she actually got that one. I was surprised. Coach, but she didn't get the other one. So she got 3 of 7. A shout out also came in again around the same time. Abby Eubanks, 8655, got 2 of 7. Bull Durham, she did not write the character or actor name, but she got that the quote was from Bull Durham. And Waterboy, Bobby Boucher. She also stated, I thought this was interesting. She stated that one of her favorites, Cameron, was Miracle, which that's a lot of people's, that'd be on top 5 of a lot of people's list. Miracle, the hockey
Yeah.
movie about the U.S. Olympic team. This is why, this is why it's one of her favorites because of the end credits. She liked the Dream On, the Dream On sequence in the end credits. So
Okay.
Do you think she turns the movie on and just fast forwards to the end credits? Do you think that happens?
That's what she does. She just watches the end credits and she thinks that's a fabulous movie.
That is a great movie. Let's turn that thing off. Okay. So we appreciate the heck out of everybody engaging with us, leaving us comments, agree with us, disagree with us. It doesn't matter. And ask us questions. As we said in the last couple of episodes, if you think we talk about too much sports in our sports show, put something in the comments and to ask us to talk about. And we
Absolutely.
absolutely we'll talk about it, or we might talk about it. We'll put it that way. But if they don't, ask us something to talk about in our sports show besides sports. What are we going to talk about, Cameron?
Probably sports.
Probably sports, and then maybe a
Or
little more sports, and maybe a little
or
more
my milk
speak.
frother.
And the milk frother. We'll talk about that. See how that thing's going. Okay, moving right along. Speaking of sports, a couple of big things happened this week in sports. We'll try to be pretty brief. Cameron, what's going on with Oklahoma in the College World Series?
Oklahoma has beaten Alabama. I'm pretty sure they've beaten them twice now. So they are going to face. I think it's either Texas or Georgia. Big Al would know for sure, but they're going to face either Texas or Georgia, and that is going to decide who is in the final set of the College World Series. And I think either Texas or Georgia is going to have to beat Oklahoma twice.
Yeah, well, I don't think Oklahoma's played Texas yet. They beat Alabama and then they beat Georgia. From what I understand, and any viewers that want to correct us, I'm shocked that Cameron doesn't know this by heart since it's baseball. But from what I understand, the College World Series is double elimination, meaning the preliminaries are double elimination. If you beat a team, you stay in the winner's side. If you lose, you go to the loser's side, and then if you lose again, you're out. Uh, Only when it gets down to the final two teams, if I'm understanding correctly, does it turn into a best of three series between those two teams. Right now, Oklahoma is in the winner's side. Texas and Georgia, Texas, and Bama are all on the loser's side. And I think maybe Bama got eliminated already. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But you're right, Cameron. Should it come up that, let's just say, the brackets worked out where Oklahoma had to play either Georgia or Texas, uh, they have to be double dipped. Oklahoma does. Is what it's called. They have to get double dipped or beaten twice to get knocked out.
Yep.
And then that team would advance. Okay, so amazingly, Oklahoma is still alive in the College World Series, even though I don't know that they do you follow college baseball enough to even know if they were ranked going into the College World Series? I think I saw that Georgia was number three and they beat them.
I do think Oklahoma was ranked, but I do not remember what ranking they were.
Okay. Okay. The other thing that happened in the sports world this week that's pretty big, we talked a couple of weeks ago about this Brendan Sorsby deal, this quarterback for Texas Tech that admitted to placing like 3,000 bets for over $60,000, some on his own team, which is an absolute total no-no. He got lawyered up. The NCAA slapped him with a suspension. He got lawyered up, and the lawyer got an injunction and got it reduced to a 2-game suspension. But every conference in the country, pretty much every conference commissioner in the country, is going on record as saying, "Hey, we're not going to play him. We're not, the guy's a cheater. We're not going to play him." So fortunately for Tech, if you're a Tech fan, uh, fortunately he and Tech decided to part ways. I don't know if he parted ways with the 4 or 5 million that they paid him to come there, or if he gave them some of the money back or all the money back. But he has decided to leave Tech and go into the NFL supplemental draft. Frankly, I'm going to be surprised if an NFL team takes him, but we'll see. Okay, everybody should be thrilled. That is the end of the sports for this sports show, unless you've got some more sports, Cameron.
No, I have no more sports. There's no more sports in the sports show.
No more sports in the sports show. So that takes us to our last segment. don't want to talk about it questions. And it looks like I've got a couple and you've got one. Uh,
Okay. Sound good.
I'll do the first one first, and I definitely have to get this in here because in all of our work to pander, we missed this question from a couple of weeks ago, and we not only missed the question, but the question comes from a very important person, and we missed her question. This question from an earlier episode from Angel Black 6797. Baseball is a sport in Bull Durham. What would Kevin Costner say to me calling it a game and not a sport? Uh, I guess this is directed at me because you still maintain it's a sport. I say it's a game. So
I do
what?
maintain it's a sport. Having said that, Kevin Costner calls it a game in the movie.
Well, you know what? You're right. You're right.
He
I think he
does.
does.
I can't repeat the exact line because this is a rated PG show. But he says, "Froth this frothing game," is what he says.
Yeah, yeah. He refers to it as a game, I think, more than once in the show. However, I think if you were to ask Kevin Costner, certainly if you were to ask Crash Davis, his character, he would say it's a sport. And I think Kevin
Yeah.
Costner, he's done enough baseball movies, he would say it's a sport. And
Well,
I
and
conceded
Costner
earlier in
himself.
this show, most people would argue with me and say that it is a sport. I just do not believe that it is. I think it's a game, not a sport. But that
Well,
will answer that question. I believe Kevin,
and
yeah,
Costner himself, he played baseball. Few people know anytime you see Costner doing baseball things in baseball movies, like the batting cage scene in Bull Durham and his pitching in For Love of the Game, he really did all that. So yeah, I think Costner would say it's a sport.
Costner would say it's a sport. Absolutely. Okay. Second question, also from Angel Black 6797. She's trying to help us not talk so much sports on our sports show, Cameron. That's why she's asking these questions. Todd, what is your favorite thing about living in Alaska? Oh, my word. Well, living here with her is my favorite thing. Uh, and there's not really even anything close. Now, if I had to come up with a distant second, it's just it's indescribably beautiful. I mean, it has a little bit of everything. Beautiful rivers, ocean, mountains, farmland. I mean, it's got a little bit of everything and it's just beautiful. I keep, I've asked her after 10 years, do you think you're getting desensitized after being here 10 years? And she's like, no, not at all. And I can tell you, she's in Lubbock, Texas right now. Not, she's definitely not getting desensitized. Lubbock, Texas, where Matt says if you look on a clear day, you can see the back of your own head. So it's just so beautiful here. Uh, heard people say God just showing off when he created Alaska, and I think that's the truth. Okay, question three, also from Angel Black 6797. Cambo, when I was finishing my comms program and was practicing under blindfold in Portland, you called me every night to check on me and see how it was going. What were you really thinking when I was crying on your shoulder about how hard it was?
So first of all, any viewers who don't know what a comms is, which I think probably most of our viewers do, but just in case they don't, a comms is a certified orientation and mobility specialist who is someone who can teach visually impaired and blind people how to properly use their canes and utilize public transportation and things like that. So,
Okay, thank you.
you
Thank
know
you for
what, Ma?
clarifying that.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, you know what, Ma? I saw you post that question and I gave it some thought, and I'll tell you exactly what I was thinking. The first thing I was thinking is just that I was incredibly proud of you. I still am incredibly proud of you. because that is not an easy thing for people to do. In my line of work, I know a lot of people who have gotten their comms, and it's hard. It's hard, and you did it. I don't mean to make you feel old, Mama, but you did it, being a little bit older than most people do it. So I was just incredibly proud of you. Still am. And the other thing I was thinking, I know that you probably think I was thinking, what is she whining about? I've been doing this my whole life. I wasn't thinking that at all. I didn't think that one time. What I did think, other than how proud of you I thought that I was happy I wasn't happy that you were upset and that you were stressed and that you were crying. I wasn't happy about that. But I was happy that I could be in a position where I could take care of you and I could comfort you. And I was in a position where I could teach you something because you and dad have been teaching me things my whole life. And
Still are.
now I was, what?
Still are.
Still are. And now I was in a unique position where there was something that you could learn from me. And I could teach you something and I could encourage you and help you. And I was thrilled to have that opportunity and to be in that position.
Well, it was great that she had you as a shoulder to cry on and uh, somebody to commiserate with her. Because as you said, that's how you lived. So uh,
It is, but I'm not a comms. It's how I live, but I'm not I'm not a comms.
yeah, for just to brag on her a little more, we're both incredibly proud of her, as is our daughter's incredibly proud of her. Uh, Angel didn't, she didn't get her TVI, teacher visually impaired, and her comms when she was 30. She went back to school, I think, when she was close to 50.
She
Uh,
was 50.
yeah. So any of you out there that are watching that, it's just too late for me to go back to school. It's too late for me to change my profession. It isn't. She did it. Of course, now she's not, she's just your average everyday superhero type.
Yeah.
Uh, but
Now she's gallivanting all over Alaska working with blind kid, and she's 65 years old.
yeah, now she's going to be upset that you threw that out there.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Ma.
Sorry,
It's
Ma.
impressive.
Hey, she just turned 65,
She
right?
did. She's a young
She's
65.
barely 65, but she's a lot older than I am. That's what counts. Okay. Thank you, Angel Black 6797, for those lovely questions. And again, please ask us some questions. We're thrilled to answer them. Give you a little more insight into what life's like in Alaska, or what life is like uh, living by yourself as a blind man in Kansas City. Uh, you know, we have some interesting stories. Both of us just ask us some questions. We're glad to answer them, as long as they're, how many are we going to answer, Cameron?
3 questions, no more, or we don't want to talk about it.
Three. If there's more than three, we don't want to talk about them. Okay, buddy. Do you have anything else for tonight? I think that's about
I
it.
do. I have one more thing. While you're at it, like this video, subscribe to this channel. When last I checked, we had 35 subscribers. So that's awesome. But we need more. We need lots more. So like this video, subscribe to this channel. And if you don't, it's because you hate blind people or old blind people
Or
or
old
blind old people.
photographers, or old people that live in Alaska, uh, but mostly blind people. It's just mostly about
Mostly
hating blind
blind
people.
people.
Okay, well, we're going to sign off for tonight. I'm starving. I'm going to go make me a couple of smash burgers, I think. So, uh,
I'm also starving. I'm gonna go get some meat out of a can and scrape the jelly off it.
go scrape that jelly off and fry it up. Okay. Okay. All right, bud. We'll talk to you later. All right.
All right, Dad. See ya.
Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.